Okay, let's start. So, so far, whatever we have covered, that was it's fundamental of Java. Okay, so from today onwards, we'll start from OOPS concept, so object-oriented programming. Okay, so in OOPS, we have few things that the very first one is classes, object, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. We'll cover each topic, so you will understand. So just high level, just for the time being, you should know in OOPS what are the concept we have. Okay, so today we'll cover the very first one is class. So let me give you the definition. So basically class, right? Class, comma, object and method. So basically in one class we can have object and methods. So far whatever we have
Muthan, I'm not
s-
able to see any.
sorry.
Yeah, now I'm able to see.
Okay. So in class we have object and methods. Okay. And now what is class? Class is a collection is a collection of variables and methods. Okay. So class is a logical entity and it does not consume any space in memory allocation. So basically if you create any class, right? So it will not take any space in memory allocation. So and it holds it's a collection of variable and methods. This is the definition of a class. Class can have methods and variables. Okay, so far we have seen in class variables, right? So these are method, it holds method and variable. This is the definition of class. Now object, right? What is object? Object is so basically is instance. Okay, is instance of class and occupied some space in memory. Objects are real world entity. Objects have some attribute attribute and behavior behavior. Okay, so this is the definition of object. It is instance of a class and occupies some space in memory. Objects are real world entity. Objects have some attribute and behavior. So for example, take one example. Example, let's take one. So classes and objects. Okay. So for example, we have animal. So basically animal it's a class. So animal it's a class. Now in animal So what is, it's a logical entity. Okay, logical, just a logic that animal has a class and it has objects. So what are those? Suppose dog, tiger and cat. So what is objects? These are the objects. So object definition, it's a instance of class and occupied some space in a memory. Objects are real world entity. So these are the real world entity, right? Because it has a existence. Animal, when you say animal doesn't have any real time existence, right? But when I say this objects, it's a specific to animal, right? Some category. So these are called objects. Now objects has some attribute and behavior, right? So these objects can suppose a person, right? When I say human or person is a class. Now person can what? Person can run, person can sing, person can dance. These are the like what? These are the behavior, right? They can do. Okay. So this is only just an example for your understanding. Okay. Now we'll see another example. Example 2. Okay, example 2. How to declare a class. That we know, but we'll see all of this. Okay, so basically how to declare a class, when I say the very first thing would be the class, right? The class. And here would be the class name. Class name. Class name can be anything, and it should always start with upper case. Okay, and your curly bracket start. Okay, now in class, suppose this is the class, right? We started and ended. This is the class basically. So in class we can have variables, right? So in variable we can have few things. Instance variable. We'll discuss each topic, later. Just for your understanding, you should know what are the things a class can have. Constructors and methods. Okay. So these are the things a class can have: instance variable, constructors and methods. Okay. Now what is instance variable? What is instance variable? So instance variables are within the class, within the class, but outside of methods. Okay, let me write first, then I will explain. And it's allocates memory at runtime when we create an object of the class. So basically instance variable are the variable, it should be within the class. So our class start from here and here, right? So whatever within the class we have the variable, these variables are called instance variable, and it allocates memory at runtime when we create an object. So basically If you create multiple classes, it will not allocate any memory. It will not allocate any memory. Only the memory will be occupied the moment you create object. Okay, so this is only the thing about instance variable. Okay, now what is constructors? Because this is also part within the class, right? So construction, it is a kind of special method. It is a kind of special method which called only when we create an object of the class. Practically, we also will see class automatically. Constructor name as similar as class name. So basically, what is constructor? It's a kind of special method which called only when we create an object of the class automatically. Okay, so construction name as similar as class name. So for the time being, just understand the definition. Later we'll do practice. Okay, so methods, methods like this only. Okay, this is the syntax for methods. Anyway, we'll cover. Now what is method? What is method? So it is set of statements or instructions instructions to perform perform certain task or action, whatever. So basically, suppose human, right? So human can run, human can sing, or human can do anything, right? These are all the actions. So basically, some task, right? Some task they are performing. So basically, methods are it's a set of statement or instruction to perform some action. So we are telling to human just sing a song. So the task what we are giving to that human or a person, that are the call like methods. Okay, any task they are performing, these are the methods. As simple as that. So how to create an object of a class, that we'll see. How to create an object of class. We can create object and class using a keyword called new. Okay, we can create we can create object of a class by using new. This is the new keyword. It's a keyword. New is a keyword. Okay, okay. Now ways to init initialize objects or store data to the object. Okay, so how we can initialize the object? There are three ways. One is by reference variable. One. Second is by method, and the third is by construction, by constructor. By constructor. By method we can initiate object, okay, initialize object by using reference variable, method and constructor. Now we'll see practical one example. Okay, so go to src, new, one package, session 8. Okay, now I will create one class, suppose students. So students, it's a class. So class, we know already how to create a class. This is the class, right? And this is the body of the class. This is the body of the class. Okay. Now, suppose we are taking instance variable. So what are the instance variable? Okay. A class, already we said a class can have an instance variable, constructor and method. We'll see each. For first one, instance variable. Okay. Now string name, suppose name. Okay, so what we did, we, is it what we did here, is it initialize or declare? Guys, please
Declare, declare.
declare, right? We have not initialized the value, so we have, these are the instance variable, because how you identify its instance variable or not, it it is within the class, right? Class level. That is why these are instance variable. Okay, now we need a method. Okay, suppose we are creating a method. Now method to display information. Okay, method to display information. So we will create one method. So public void display information. So this is the syntax of creating a method. Okay, this is the, so you have to give this one, bracket start, bracket close, and here curly bracket start, curly bracket close. This is method. All, how you see the difference? A method is like you have to first start and close. This is the syntax creating a method, and this is the class. So in class we can't do like this. It's a error, right?
Okay, one
Because
doubt.
hmm,
So in the class, the first letter would be always caps, and in the method, the first letter would be always
yeah,
small.
yeah.
Okay.
There is no, so this is not mandatory. You
Okay.
can even do in uppercase, but this is the standard of coding. Okay, any method, whenever you write, the
Mm-hmm.
first letter should be in lowercase. So people, like as a programmer, they will understand, okay, this is method. How they will differentiate, right? There should be some differentiation. So
Whenever
method
they're calling method, they're going to use lowercase, right?
lowercase, and class always it should be in uppercase. These are not hard and fast rule. You can do anything, even you can do a class name as a lower, but this is the standard we follow,
Yeah,
like
even I tried. Okay, upper and lowercase, there's no difference, but
no difference.
want to
Yeah, so
understand why they
no,
are using always
no,
small.
no, but this is what the like this is what the standard. Okay, so the example what we are covering for is we saw the reference, using reference variable, right? How to initialize object. So by using reference variable. So this is the first one. Okay, how to initialize. Okay, now this is our method, right? Okay, so let's write some statement here. In methods we have statement, right? In methods we saw the definition of method. uh yeah, statement, right? Something, we'll put some statement here. Okay, so we have two variables here, right? Two instance variable. We'll take first one. We need a printout for name. Another system.out.println, we need to print out for roll number. Okay, now this is what we have. Okay, so method, it's a separate, it's within the class. Okay, now another, our, we need a main method, right, for execution. Without execution we will not see that option, na? Now we'll create main method, and obviously main method should be within the class, right? I cannot write main method here. Okay, it will give me error, right? Whatever you are writing, it should be within the class level. So our class start from here. Methods also part of a class, variables also class of part of a class. But only the difference you saw, that I already told, like instance variables are variables, those are within the class, not within the method, right? Instance variables are within the class but outside of a method. So it is outside of a method, right? These are not within the method. Any confusion? No, right? Are you clear with this part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But what if you write within method? What do you call it as then?
Within method we can't write this, na? This
You
is
can't, is
it's
it?
no, this is in what I am, see, go with the definition. What is instance variable? Instance variable are those variable, it's a within the class outside of the method. That's as simple as that. So now the instance variables are within the class but outside of our method. It is not within our method, right? So this is called instance variable. Okay. Now let me.
But one question here. So within method you cannot declare, is it?
No, no, method only perform some task, right? So
Okay.
method we use to call to perform some task. This is only the different definition, right? It's a set of statement or instruction to perform some certain task. Okay.
Okay.
In math.
Okay.
So basically, any variable you declare, you have to declare in the class level only. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
these are called instance variable. In method we'll just call. So this method will, once we write the program you'll understand better. Okay, now we need a main method to execute the program. So what I am going to do, so for using reference variable, so what you have to do, first you have to take the class name. Okay, class name is our students. Now reference variable means it's defined by a user. So user can give any variable name. Suppose st1 I'm giving, you can put any name, even it is giving you suggestion students. See what is the difference. So this is the class, because it's a class, right? When I, the moment I click here, it pointing to this. And now this is an our object, so you can put any object st1, or let's put object, object1, suppose, for a, it can be anything, equal to new. Now where the moment you put new, right, the class name will give you the suggestion as a suggestion. So this is creating an object of a class. Okay, so the moment you use new class name, right, here it is creating a object, and automatically it will place some what memory allocation will be there. So object, see, it's the instance of a class and occupied some memory space in memory Objects are real-time, real-world entity. Objects have some attribute and behavior. So the basically what happened, the moment you create this object, it will uh, see here it's mentioned I- in construction. You can see it is a kind of a special method which called when we create an object of class automatically. So basically you try to understand, the moment you create an object, then only your memory in a location, right, memory location, it will give some space to the class variables. Okay, whatever you are object, this object, right, it will get space in a memory. Okay, if you don't create this line, there would be no space occupying. Okay, as simple as this. So the syntax of creating an object is, first would be the class name, whatever is there, the class name, then your reference variable. So this is reference variable. So this is reference variable. Any reference variable you can put, anything you can put, equal new, again class name. This is creating. Okay, now I need another, okay, class, another object. Again, this one, class name. Now I cannot use the second, like it's a duplicate, right? So we have to change. So object one, object two, same, new, student. So we are creating two objects. Okay, creating two object. Second time. Okay, and this is first time, because in Java we need object. Okay, so without object you cannot do anything in Java. So it's a oops, right, object oriented programming. So object is the main part, or it's a main point of Java programming. So we have now two object we have created. Okay, now initialize object, right? What we will do, initialize the object. For example, initialize object or store data to the object student list or student class. Students class. Right now what we have created, we just initialize. We have not declared, right? Now here we have just created the object. Now what we'll do, we will initialize the value. We have just declared. These are the declaration. Declarations, right? These are the declarations, but we have not initialized. So now we'll go and initialize. So how to initialize? You have to always take the object name. This is the object name, right? Or you can copy, or you can just type also. Dot. Now you can see the moment I enter dot, it is giving two, name and roll number. We have name and roll number, right? So we'll first choose the name. Okay, equal to, so name is a string, right? In string, so we have to take any name, John. This is our name, right? Now again, for object one, we have another variable, right? Instance variable dot roll number. Roll number, so this is integer. We have to put some integer value. So I am putting 10. Now we have initialized the object. Now this value has object, right? This all the variable has a object, like values. So initialize object. Now we have done it. Now we need for another one, right? For this too, because now you can see it is grayed out, kind of like it's, you can see never used. So it is giving you a kind of a warning that we have created this object but never use. Do you want to remove? Because it is creating some space, right, in memory allocation. So it is giving a kind of a warning. If you are not using, can you remove, so that you can't you will not consume any memory. Okay, so it's a kind of a just give you reminder or a warning kind of sign. So now we'll create second. So what we'll do, obj object 2 again will initialize roll number, sorry, not roll number. Again we'll do name first, will initialize. Okay, say butler. Okay, obj2, right, obj2 to roll number, and I'm saying 11. Okay, now we have initialized all this, right, we have done it. So all this we have done under the main method, right? All of this we have done under the main method. Now the class has entire program, right? Because within the class level only you have to do whatever we do. Okay, this is our method. Okay, now what is the use of this method? Now what I am saying, print information of student. So I want to give some task, right? Student 1 and 2. So this is now the task I want to see for student 1 and student 2. So what basically where how to do that? So we'll again call the object. For object 1 will dot object 1 dot. Now you can see this method will call this method. So basically public void, right? It will not return anything. So it will just give you the output. Okay, because this name system.out.println we put under the display method. So what it will perform, it will just give you the output from here. It will print within the method. Okay, and this is only the action we need from this method. This method should do some thing, right? So why what we said, I said name and roll number, I am giving you as a task to just give the output. Okay, so again for object 2 also you have to do dot, again we'll call display method. Okay, so now if I run, I will get for, so this is reference variable, using this is the reference variable because it's given by a human being. Okay, we have another two different, we'll see each, by method and by constructor. Let's run it. Okay, now see we have John 10, Butler 11. So first it will call the first object, object 1. So we have object 1 and then object 2. So this is how we are using method, we are using our instance variable. So basically what is the advantage of instance variable? So here we have not hard coded, right? Here just we declare. Now the here we can make the changes, right? And second, like if you want to make the changes, right, you will just change here. Suppose I want to say same object, right? Suppose you want to make any changes, you can do here, you can do here. Okay, so this is just for understanding that but using reference variable also, okay, we can perform all the actions, like we can call the method, or we can, all this action we can do. So any question?
Can
Yes.
regarding that class, no, in method, display information method.
Hmm.
So public void, you said right, void is not going to return. Return means क्या है? मतलब already
Return will come. Return, it will return some value. It is
now
not
it is not
returning.
returning, you're saying.
Sorry.
Now it is returning or not returning?
No, 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 no. The moment you use void means it will not return anything.
But
Okay.
we are able to print, right, that name and roll
Yeah,
number.
yeah, that it is just printing, but it will, the moment when I'm saying returning, right? So here it can't be void. Will come. Then
If
you will
you
have,
remove void, what will happen?
no, you have to put something, na? You can't have. If I put integer, suppose I
String
have to put,
to declare.
yeah, something we have to declare here, na? So see, now you are seeing error that will come. Okay. So we need return. See, missing return statement. Do you see that concept will come? So as of now, just understand, the wherever you see void, it means it will not return anything. It is not returning, it is just giving the output of some variable you declare or initialize. Okay, that only printing. Return doesn't mean it is returning. This method is returning nothing. These things are coming from different place. Okay, that return will cover,
I
don't worry.
understand those things, okay. Just I'm a bit confused void and this, no. Public void, public static. They're saying
Yeah,
this is return, not
see,
return, because return means it's returning,
are
right?
you
Yes.
do you have, okay, let me again explain this line. Okay, so when you say public, it's a access modifier. We have
Correct.
four different kind of access modifier. Public, without public also you can do it. It
Correct.
will not give you any error, because you can still run it. Okay,
Because
but
it's running in the local, so it will work.
yeah, so
Hmm.
public, when the moment you public, you can access from anywhere. Okay, okay, this is one gone. Okay, now static. For basically static, we do not need to create object. Okay, this is called the static. So whenever you have any static, right, so for that we don't require any object. You can directly call that class name, that all the properties using the class name. This is static. Now
So
the
this
void.
it means we already created here, right?
So Raghu, this is main method. So this is needed. We can't make any changes here, right?
No, no, I got it. That understand. I'm talking about static.
Ah,
Said, right?
so
Static,
yeah.
you're not going to create object. Already we created, right, for
So
student.
we are creating object for different class, na, Raghu. This is just a this is a main method. It's a special, like it's a main method which we
So you're
can.
saying within the main method, inside you don't need to create object. If you're calling from outside the main method, you need to create object.
Right, right, right. So
Correct?
object, whenever you put some method as, like some method as a method, basically, especially method or any constructor as a static, then we don't need to create object to call that particular method. By using class name, we can call it. Okay.
Okay, got it. So in
Okay.
main method, we are not using object, but when you're
Using,
calling from
ha,
outside the main method, you
correct.
need to create
Yeah,
object.
right. That will come. Don't get confused. This is
No, no, I'm
what.
just clearing, okay,
uh,
not confusion because I know this all concept, but I don't know the meaning of that static, void, and all.
okay.
Okay,
So
so
basically, whenever, just for your understanding, whenever you see void, it will not return anything. Just understand as of now. And main is a main. It's a method. We can't change main as a different. It should be, because JVM only check the moment you run the program. It will only check the main. If it's a method. Okay, main, it's a method, and the method, within the method we have a string parameter. This line you should understand, everyone should understand very, deeply, like what is its main. So this is a method, entire from here to this, it's a method. So the moment you run the program, JVM will only check first this.
Yeah, that's
If
an
it doesn't, if JVM is not able to find it, then it will not execute. And void means no return type. There would be no return type. Static means you do not need to create object to call main method. Okay, so main method we don't create. We are not creating for main method any object, right? We are creating object for different classes, not for the main method. Okay, just be there. Okay, we'll cover all this, then later you will understand.
got it, Madan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for now we cover what is by reference variable. We can initialize, we can call methods and all, everything we can do. Now we'll see the next one by method, how to do. Okay, now let's close this one. Now create another student, student1, because students same name we can't do, so I'm putting students1 for example. Now this is our class. Again, let me copy few things from here. Okay, now instance variable, right? So these are instance variable we need. Again, we'll take this two, name and this same thing. Okay, now using method, how to declare. Okay, so method to insert record. So we have to enter some record, right? Again, we'll create some one method, public void insert record. Okay, public void insert record. Now this is the syntax of a method, right? The moment you do this, this is a method. Okay. Okay, now how to do it? What is the difference here? Here we use void, right? Now you will get a clear picture. Now suppose here we said public void display and we have no parameter, nothing, right? Basically we just call this method, but here in student1 what we are doing to do, public void insert record, any name you can put. So we need do parameter, we'll put parameter. So one is string, right? Because name should be string. So suppose student name I'm putting first as a parameter, and int student role. Okay, so there are two parameter you can see. Okay, now what I am going to do, this name, right? This name means my this one, right? Because I'm considering this name as a this. Okay, now this variable, this roll number is my this one, right? So I am, this will hold this one and this will hold this one. Okay, now we'll create another method, method to display information. So we are creating another method, public void display information. So this is the method syntax. Okay, now I need system.out.println 2 times, right? Let me take, okay. Now what we are telling to this method to print, give the printout. So I'm taking this name and this roll number. Okay. Now this is done. So this is, you can see no parameter, right? Here there is no parameter. A method can have a parameter also. A method can have no parameter also. So this is a method and having a parameter. Okay. Now come to another main class, right? We need main to execute. Now what we are doing here, we have to first create object, create an object to call all these things, right? So how to do that? Can anyone tell except Raghu? Guys, are you there?
Yeah, yeah. So name dot.
What? Which name? Okay, name dot. So remember, any you, if you want to create any object of a
First,
class,
this insert record dot.
no, listen. When the moment you want to create any object of a class, that should be class name. Okay, that should be class name. So your class name is
Student name, student
student
one.
First we need to create object.
dot. Now why you are not getting?
We need to create
Now
object.
object. So I am creating, suppose, student one obj. Anything you can put it. Okay, student one. Now new. The moment you say new, you are creating object for new one. Okay, are you clear how to create an object?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, again we have to create another object, right? Let's create another object. Now we can't have a same name. I am putting object one equal to new student. Okay, this is how we create an object. Okay, now initialize. Now we will initialize object. Now what we will do, we will call object dot. Now we have two method, right? Using method also we can initialize. Okay, so here you can see the moment I just put object name dot, it is giving all the suggestion. So earlier saw that name and all we saw, right? Now we'll use insert record. So insert record, it's giving me error. Why? Any idea?
Because we have not entered any value, no. So
Yeah. So see, insert record has two parameters, right? So we have to pass. So again, I'm saying John, and second
why
one is
you just enter double quotes, is it? The student name
double.
automatically.
Student name should be string, na? This is
No,
string,
no,
right?
because here the student name came, no, before John. So what you did, you just enter double quote, that's it, is it?
Ha ha ha. 1 second. Okay. So this is how. So just enter double quote. The moment you enter double quote, it will show student name. It will just point to this student name. Now at John, and second you have to put the second int for roll number. So I'm saying 101. We are done. We have created object for this. Okay. Now second object also we can do the same. So we are entering two student record. Okay. Now again insert record. Now first student name I'm saying Paul, and it is I'm giving 102. So we have initialized two student name, okay, using method. So what is the different here? Here we with object we just initialize, right? In object only we have initialized object dot name whatever we did it, but here we have not used that object, right? See the difference. Second. Okay, now see the difference. Here what we did, here we just use the reference variable, right? This is the reference variable. This is the reference variable, and we use here, but here we have not reference variable. In method level only we did the mechanism, so that we'll call that insert record method, and from the method also we can initialize the value of an object. Okay. This is what we did. Now we'll print student information. Now you guide me, you people guide me how to do it. Anyone? What to do?
Student one object dot display information. Same.
Yeah, because display will give me the name and roll number, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we have to call the object first, right? Or what? What we'll call? Object or what?
Student one
Can I
object.
call directly this method?
No, object,
Okay.
object. Sorry, you added student, right? Student name, object. Yeah, add student dot.
Hmm.
You have to display information. Yeah, print now.
And we have two, right? Two object, object one dot display.
Yeah, again display information.
So now we'll get the information. Let me run it. So John 101 and Paul 102 will get. So how to declare, how to initialize the value using method. First we saw using reference variable, we can do it by method also, and we'll now see the constructor. Now you see John, Paul, these things is coming. Okay, this is. Now we'll see the third one by constructor. So so far any question you have?
No.
Okay, so anyway, this question is coming frequently from you guys. I will just explain. Okay, go to my first one. Okay, so void return. I always say return type, right? So basically, what happened? Which one will return? Okay, now let me create one program. Public static int. Okay, and method, just method one I'm putting. It's a name only. Now I have to pass something. Int a comma int b. Okay. Now you see still this, right? So you have to pass the return keyword. Okay, so for that we need a body. Suppose I don't want to cover right now, that's the problem. I told so I just telling you static, right? The moment you say static whatever int, right? So there is no void. There is no void. You can see there is no void. So int, so it will return integer data type. It will return integer value. Okay. So system.out.println, suppose a plus b. For example, I'm telling, I will cover, I don't want to spend time on this. I will come because we have session separately. So in return type, you will not see void. Okay. And you have to use the return keyword. Okay. Now you see the value return, missing return value. So you have to pass the value also. So we'll cover later. So only understand int and void we can't get in same method. Okay. Because the moment you use int, it will give you a return value, because definitely int is a data type, right? So it will give you a return value something. So we'll use later. Just for the time being, you understand, void means will return nothing. Okay, it is not returning anything. The moment you int double, right, or boolean, suppose anything, it will return something. True or false, it will return, right? That's it. Okay. So just understand this concept, then we'll come to another one. Okay. Now we cover reference variable by method, how to initialize all these things, right? So now we have another call constructor. So have you understand about constructor? Just read this line and let me know if you have any doubt. Just read for construction line. No doubt, right? Okay. Now let me create another class. Suppose I am saying calculator. Okay, calculator. Okay. Now syntax of method. Okay. So what is the syntax? So basically, second. Syntax of a method is first modifier. Modifier means public, private, okay, these things. Modifier. Then suppose one is return type. Return type. Name of method and parameter. Parameter. The syntax. Now we'll see. So this is one syntax. Okay. Now we'll see create static method. Create static method. How to create a static method? Now public, it's optional. If you don't want to give public, it's okay. Later I will tell why. Okay. Without public, we'll start. Okay. Static void int message. Okay. Now, is there any return type? Can you guess? let me complete the method first. Okay, we have created the method. Public you can put, okay, but I am just ignoring. It's optional. You can put public, even it's okay. So is it return type or no return type?
No return type.
Why?
You mentioned void, right?
Yeah, correct. So when the moment you see void, it will no return. So I'm again putting comment no return type. Okay. Now this is the method body, right? This is the body of the method. Now I have to print something. Suppose welcome to Java session. So it's a method, no return type because it's a void. Okay. Now we'll create non-static method. Non-static method, definitely it should not have the keyword static, right? When I say static method, then it has a static keyword. Okay, now to create a non-static method, we'll use void print message. Why I'm getting error? Can anyone tell?
You have given same method name, right? Method
Right,
names are same.
correct. So this is non-static method, right? Because this static is not there. Okay. Now also here also we need some print. I will just take a print. Welcome to Java. Here also I'm to JavaScript. Suppose. Okay, I'm writing. Now method to sum two numbers. I will create a method which will give addition of two. Okay. So I'm saying static. As I mentioned, public things is optional. You can give or not. I will not use on this. Public void sum. Okay. Now we'll use two parameter, int a comma int b, our method body. Now what I will do, system.out.println, let me just write the program. I will again explain. Sum of a and b is, I need to print, right, a plus b. So this is the addition. Okay. So this is method. This is a return type or no return type. Will it give you any return type or no return type?
No return type.
Yeah. And this is called parameterized, okay, method, because it has a parameter, right? Two parameter we are passing here, or here no parameter, right? No parameter. Here is a parameter. We have given two, right? It will, okay. Now another method will see return type method. Raghu was excited to know about this. Return type method. Now static will not use void because void is no return. Instead of void we'll use int. So static int sum. Okay, sum we are giving. Now I'm saying int a int b, sorry, b, for example, body. Okay, so this is again parameterize, right? It has a parameter. The moment you put something, it's called parameterize. Now
But
we are
but
get
we have given same method name, right, and same parameters. That's the reason.
okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry. I'm putting one. Okay, okay. Thanks. Okay, but still we have a error, right? You can see on top also error. Now, now it shows missing return type. So any return type method you use instead of void use any data type, suppose integer I am using, or a string also, whatever. Okay, so in that case you have to use a return keyword, and you have to pass that a, suppose the in first parameter, and then b from the second parameter, and colon. Now it will return the moment. This is only the difference between when I was saying void means no return, no return, it is not returning. Printing it's not considered as a return. Okay, return only the moment it will add here. See now here what we did, int a, int b, and here only we are calculating and we are returning. So this is what return, like return type method. Okay, now let me create another one. Int, again this is return, will return or not?
Not return.
Why not return, Vinod?
Because there is no void no here also.
It will return.
No void, that's why it will return, na? If it's a void, then it will not return, right?
Right, right.
Int a, int b. Now this is minimum. Suppose I want one method called minimum. Again we are seeing error, right? Because we need that return keyword. Yeah. So here we'll use if logic. Okay. If logic. If a less than b. If a is less than b. For example, if a is smaller than b. Okay. Then I want return a. Okay, for example, else what I want, return b. Okay, so if b is smaller than a. So let me explain all this method again. So this is static void print message. It is no return type because we use void. It will just print. Okay, it is not returning anything. The moment you see void, it's a no, it will not return anything. Okay, void. So public, private, these things are optional. Without this also, it will consider as a default. If, without public also, you can use any method, any class. Okay. Now you see non-static method. Non-static method means it doesn't have a static. Okay. So it is non-static, but it's no return with non-static. Okay. Non-static with no return. Non-static with no return. Now this is method to sum two numbers. So this is static void, and this is void. That means parameterize no return. No return, but parameterize. We have parameterize. Okay, and this is void, so no return. This is return type method. It will parameterize also, and it will return some value. it will return some value with parameterize with return, because it is taking int instead of a void. We are putting data type. That's why it will return any data type you use instead of void after static, then it will return something. Okay. Another method, static int minimum. Here also return parameterize with return type, right? Return. Now you are clear the return thing, void and return, no return concept. Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, ये return कहाँ देगा तू बोल? When you are printing that time and it's going to return?
We have not completed the program, Raghu. We'll
Okay.
do. We
I have
just
that one also.
correct. Okay. Now this here what we said, we use a if else condition. Okay. If A, as of now we just declare, right? We are saying A should be greater than B, but we have not implemented or initialized the value. We are just writing the logics and all, right? We'll implement all these things in main method. So I'm saying if A is less than B, then A is a smaller. If if not, then return A. Otherwise, else return B if B is smaller than N. So if else, we just put a logic. Now we'll write a main method, because we obviously need a main method to run the program, right? So now we are saying calling static method without creating. Now we will get clarity, because I cannot solve all many questions, because the moment we go step by step we will get clear all your questions. Okay, now what we're saying, calling static method without creating an object. I already told, right, that the moment you see the static, we don't need to create object to call that method or a class or anything. Okay, obviously method would be a part of any class, right? You can't create a method without class. So any method, whenever you want to call any static method, right, so you do not need to create an object. Okay, so how to do this? So here, can you guys identify which is static method? I'm giving you 2 minutes.
One is minimum.
Sorry.
You are asking static method.
Yeah, which one is a static method here?
That welcome to Java first.
Any other?
First one, third one.
I think except 17 rest are static method only, right?
Yeah.
But in that we have few returns, we are not return.
Just think and tell. It's all the method have some combinations, right?
I think, yeah. First one, 11. Not sure.
Okay. So Manju told first, yes, the first one only, it's a static method. The second was not static method, right? Do you see any static keyword? No. So it 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 the third one is a static, but it has a parameterize. The fourth one, it's a static, but it has a return type. The fifth one is also static, but it's a return type. So only the static method is we are considering this one now.
Because
Print
there is no parameter and there is no
and
return.
there's no return type. It's a normal static method. Okay. Now we are calling. Now I said what? Calling static method without creating an object. We don't need to create object. in our previous programs we saw we have to create object, right?
Correct.
But here directly we'll print. Just copy this method, just it, and just paste it. Now you should get welcome to Java session, because for remember these things what I am telling, even whatever note I am writing, these all things are very important. Okay, any static method doesn't require any object to call. Okay, so now it's print message, so my expectation is it should print welcome to Java. Let me run. Can you see welcome to Java is printing only here?
Yeah.
Even we have so here system.out.println not required. Why? Because here itself we have printed, right, this within the method. So method basically I am giving this method to print out something. I am giving some task to this guy. Hey, just print me. I don't want to print system.out.print here. That task you do from your method. So, and this is just a static method. That's why I have not created any object. But if I check with other, right, let's try this. We should do these things also. You are getting error, right? Same thing, only method I copied, but I'm getting error, right? This is called non-static method. Okay. So non-static method we cannot call directly. We need to create an object. Are you clear about static and non-static thing? Okay, now we'll see how to call non-static. So first the class name, right? This is my class name. Now I have to create some object, right? To call non-static method. Now new calculator. What I'm doing? Creating an object. Getting error because this colon should be there. Okay, now cal. Cal is my object. The moment you say cal dot, you are seeing print message 1, right? So print message 1 is pointing to this. Now you will get a print. Okay, now let's run it. So you should see welcome to JavaScript session. Print 1 message. Right? Because it's a non-static method. So for non-static method, we have to create a object to call that method. Okay. Now we have another method called sum, right? This sum. Okay, and it has a parameter. So now we are calling sum, and it's a void, right? Static void. Okay. Now what we are doing? Sum. We have to initialize, right? Suppose 10, comma 20. So we are putting for A and B value, and this is 10 and 20 for argument, right? Arguments passed to some method. So now we are initializing here this sum. Okay, initializing here. Okay, so this method sum, right? Sum, where is sum? Yeah, sum. So sum, what we are doing? We are initializing here. Okay, suppose if I do also this, it will give error because it's a parameterized, right? So, and for these also we are not creating object. Why we are not creating object? Any idea for some method? Hello, are you there, guys? Any idea why we have not created object?
It's a static now. Why we need to create?
Correct, correct. So
Yes,
this
we
is
can print it.
static, right? This is static. So whenever you see static, then we do not need to create an object for that. You don't see static, then only we create an object. Okay, very simple. So now system.out.println, and already for some, already the print here we have given, right? So we don't need to put system.out here. We'll now run. So we should get the a value as a 10 and for b value as a 20. Here in console it should give you the output. Now see a sum. So a plus b 30 because we are putting here the sum, right? Sum a plus b, it should give you 30. Okay. This is for the sum method. Now the another method, right? So, so I'm saying int result. I want to store a in variable sum. So we have one method called sum1, right? That method we want to store suppose 2 comma 5 because it's a parameterize that, so we want to store that sum1 it's a parameterize and it will return some value, so we have to pass first something, right? Now we are here, we are giving the printout. In return we have not taking the printout here, right? So we'll take the print here only. For example, system.out.println, I am telling sum1 of a and b is whatever it is dot result. So in this case we will put this. So we are just storing the output to this variable call as result, and the same we are going to print. Okay, system.out.println. This is only this is also another way. Okay, let's run it. Directly also you can print system.out.println someone who, then this one, but we are just doing here.
So whenever there is a return, so every time you need to create a variable, then only we can print, right?
No, 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 not like this. Okay, we'll do another way. System.out.println. So I'm saying someone, but we have to put this na 2
Inside.
suppose, yeah,
Okay.
2 comma
It's okay.
5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just commenting this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't need this, right?
Okay, in one only we can print. Okay.
Yeah, now also we can do, but this is like just you should know like that way also you can do it. 7 we are getting, right?
Correct.
Yeah, this is means both the way we can do it, like creating this also fine, anyone will work. For return type, so you have to initialize, I have to initialize the value, then it will return here. That's the same thing you can do here also, like here also you can do the return also, system.out.println, here also you can do it, but I just it's better to show you here. Okay, now another we have a method which we have not called, I think minimum, right? There is one. So this is also static, right? So we can directly print because static, then obviously we don't need this, right? So I'm saying minimum and we have to pass, right? Because it's a parameterize. two parameters, right? 4 and 8 parameter, right? And I'm again commenting calling from main method without creating an object, because this also we don't need object, right? Let's run it. Now you are getting, okay? So minimum, which is minimum 4, definitely we can change the value and rerun it, right? Based on that we can do it. So far we have seen return type, no return type, with parameter, no parameter, all the methods, right? And how to declare, like by using reference variable by method. Constructor we'll see in next program. With constructor also we can do it, okay? So till this we have covered it, and these are the programs. You do practice. I will just send you these things so that you can do the practice. For now, for today we are done.